The following newscast is based on the wide world of social media. The stories are real. The reporters are really real because they are you, the members of social media. All Facebook names have been abbreviated for user protection. This is the Social News Media Network.
Welcome to the April Fool's edition of the SNM Network, the only weekly newscast reported by you, the wide world of social media. I'm Tits McGee. Who did that? Shut up. I'm Colin Cosell. Tits McGee is on assignment. That's going to bring us to this week's top story, April Fool's Day, the yearly celebration of jokes and pranks dominated by fake pregnancies, fake marriages, and fake humor. But not everyone enjoys the holiday, as Twitter reporter Cheeseboy22 notes, April 1st has to be Mr. T's saddest day of the year, because that's a lot of fools to pity. Love your mama. April Fool's Day can, however, provide some unique opportunities, as Thomas Augusto points out in his tweet, if you have herpes, today is the perfect day to get it off your chest and say it without anyone believing you. You have herpes, don't you, John? Just kidding. Even politicians got into the swing of things, with Twitter reporter Paul Byler predicting, in November, Mitt Romney will shout, "The Aristocrats!" Best April Fool's prank ever. If you don't get that joke, see the movie. And that brings us to this week's Focus on Politics, this time from our Witstream.com bureau. We begin with the GOP's march towards choosing the candidate who will lead the party to their inevitable defeat in the general election. Just keeping it real, just keeping it real. Witstream reporter Mike Scully commented on the GOP's everyman frontrunner, that can't be accurate, with his post, Mitt Romney didn't play the lottery, waiting for prize money to get interesting. He's so rich. But not everyone can be a winner, as Witstream reporter Juskowicz posted, Santorum and Gingrich still insisting they could win last night's Mega Millions. They're just as out of touch as everyone. All right. Witstream's Rex Hupke had a different take on one of the primaries with, Newt Gingrich is expected to win the Wisconsin GOP primary because he's the candidate who looks the most like cheese curd. It's funny because it's true. On the other side of the aisle, the Democrats' health care mandate faced its first Supreme Court challenge this week. A decision may take a while as, according to Witstreamer John Fugelsang, SCOTUS won't hand down its Obamacare verdict till June, as it takes that long for Clarence Thomas's wife to write his opinion. Yeah. And finally, Obama's outreach overload leading up to the March 31st fundraising deadline wasn't missed by Witstream correspondent Rob Baedeker with his post, Man, Barack Obama emails me a lot. Doesn't that guy have anything better to do? The answer is no. No, he doesn't. It's now time for this week's Trendy McTrenderside. It's back. This week saw the hashtag names of people I wouldn't trust hitting Twitter's front page, with our reporters tweeting about everyone untrustworthy. One of the common threads to arise was posted by Twitter reporter Prophet, who actually substituted the E with a 3 because he's really cool, with his tweet, any of my exes. Yes, you can't trust your exes. Some of our reporters had much more specific ideas, including Twitter's Voldemort7, also known as the Dark Lord, with his names of people I wouldn't trust, notably Severus Snape. I still haven't read any of those books. I'm just going to come clean. We here at the S&M Network even decided to get in on the action with people we don't trust, including Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Bloomberg, BBC, Fox News, The Onion. Especially The Onion. And finally, Twitter correspondent Lakerholics summed up the feelings of many NBA fans with his names of people I wouldn't trust with LeBron, fourth quarter. It's another funny because it's true. But that's going to bring us to the end of this week's Trendy McTrenderside. And you got mad because we didn't have it for 2 weeks. Speaking of crap on Twitter, a new product from a company by the name of Shitter lets you get tweets from your favorite Twitter account in toilet paper form. I'm not kidding about this. This led Twitter reporter Justin Hull to observe, answers the question, what are you doing, fairly easily. You're pooping. And while we're on the subject of bodily functions, it's now time for entertainment news. Video emerged this week of Alicia Silverstone feeding her son via premastication. In layman's terms, that means she's chewing up the food and then spitting it into her son's mouth, baby bird style. Let's take a look at the graphic, shall we? Who wants some dinner? For an eyewitness account, we can now turn to reporter Damon Lindelof, who tweeted, I saw Alicia Silverstone soaring over my house this morning searching for prey. Twitter's Nick Stadler brought us another report from the field with his post, not to be outdone by Alicia Silverstone, Snooki intends to spit vodka directly into her baby's mouth. Snooki. And finally, Twitter porter Rex Hupke discovered Silverstone's very first use of premastication, and we all know what that means now. In his tweet, Alicia Silverstone's son is named Bear Blue. She came up with that by pre-chewing a baby name's book and spitting it on a table. That is one crazy mother. Shut your mouth. I'm just kidding. From maternal madness to March Madness, it's now time for sports. The president himself made news this week for something besides socialism. Who wrote that? That's rough, with his predictions in the NCAA tournament. Facebook's Colin M., who's got a lovely first name, mind you, had the scoop with, the media coverage of President Obama's bracket and tournament opinions is astounding. I'm really looking forward to the equal time dedicated to Charles Barkley's thoughts about unemployment and Dick Vitale's deficit plan. It's 3 years, baby. Also in sports news, presumed New York Knicks savior Jeremy Lin has fallen from grace with a season-ending injury, which is marking the first Linterlude to the world's linfatuation with the NBA star. Twitter reporter the Soso Gloss summed up fans' response to the situation with his tweet, Linsult to lingerie. I guess people didn't like that one. But our viewers will be interested to learn that this ends the lincessant linclusion of linicisms we intersperse throughout the show. We admit we were a bit lintoxicated, and some of our linicisms were a bit linferior due to occasional linadequacies and linabilities on our part, but you can call off the lintervention. We're all a little bit limperfect. Lynn! Well, that's going to do it for this week's SNM Network broadcast. Be sure to tune in next week to get the best news coverage around, as well as to find out if you or any of the people you know are one of our reporters. And if you find hilarity in everyday social media and want to contribute to our show, please visit socialnewsmedia.net for instructions. We did it again on how to do so. And also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. For all of us at the SNM Network, I'm Colin Cosell, reminding you to watch what you say, because we are